What's up, Hokie Nation, and welcome into a Brent Pry press conference breakdown as Virginia Tech kicks off its 2024 season on the road this weekend in Nashville against Vanderbilt. Now, there are a lot of different topics of discussion going into this week, and kind of one of the first things is the depth chart that came out this morning as of 11:45 a.m., and the offensive line is something that I think garnered a lot of attention. So let's read it off real fast. Starting at left tackle, Xavier Chaplin. Behind him is Johnny Garrett. At left guard is Laith Ganem. Okay, how about that? Behind him is Brody Meadows. At center, Braylon Moore. Caden Moore behind him. At right guard is Caden Moore. Bob Schick behind him. And then at right tackle, you have Parker Clements and Montavious Cunningham. What did Brent Pry have to say about that depth chart? Let's see.
Yeah, I think it's that combination. We like that the best. It wasn't one person. It was what Braylon can bring us, and as he gets better at that position, a very bright player, very composed player, very poised player at center, great at IDing things and good communicator. Caden has good experience at the guard spot. He's physical, he's big, he's strong, he moves well. And then Laith's athleticism, kind of in the end, we wanted to get that out there. Sometimes you're going to get beat off the ball. Sometimes you're going to get behind, on the rep. You're in a defeated position, and Laith's athleticism and movements give him a chance to recover. Give the play a chance to get something out of it. I think he gives us a little bit there. We'll have a healthy rotation. Unlike last year, we've got some depth there now with Brody and his experience, with Bob and his experience. Caden Moore, is the next center in the game if something should happen with Braylon. And we feel good about Brody and Bob, coming along. And then on the outside with Montavious working at tackle now and Johnny Garrett working at the other one, just in a better position from a depth standpoint as well.
All right, so sticking with the depth chart, I want to go to the defensive side of the ball and focus specifically on linebackers. So Kelly Lawson is listed as the backup to Jaden Keller at the well, while Caleb Woodson is listed as the backup to Keontae Jenkins at the star. Can that group be interchangeable? Let's see.
As I've always said, we believe in those guys training at two positions. Occasionally your Mike won't do that, which Sam hasn't, not in the time he's been with us. But Caleb's, gotten good work at both spots, and Kelly's gotten really good work at both spots. So you could easily see those guys at either spot in this football game.
All right, then how about Mose Phillips getting the start at the boundary safety spot? Let's see what Brent Pry had to say about that.
I think as a freshman, Mose played with great intensity. He was aggressive. He was a good tackler. He's executing and functioning in the defense much better. He's communicating much better. Plays, with better fundamentals and technique. He's just grown as a second-year player the way you hope that he would. And, like I said earlier, I think he's outplayed everybody in that boundary spot.
All right, we talked about Mose Phillips, but who's behind him? Well, it's true freshman Quinton Redmon. He's the lone true freshman on the two deep, and it seems like he's kind of really earned this opportunity, kind of slotted in that spot. Here's Brent Pry on why Quinton Redmon earned that spot and what he saw from him in fall camp.
He's going to play. He'll be in the rotation, and he'll play some, good number of reps on special teams. He's got a good football IQ for a young guy, and he's got I would say what you'd call a corner/safety skill set. He's got length, he's physical, but he's got foot speed and true speed, to cover. I've been impressed with Q and how he's worked, how he's approached things. I'm not sure if you came out to practice that you would say that's a true freshman. He's a little on the thin side still, but he's doing a lot of things like a second-year player.
And then how about Nick Gallow? He's such an interesting case for this Virginia Tech team because he comes back for a sixth season after missing all of last year in 2023 with a knee injury. Now, Brent Pry said a couple weeks ago that he's likely 50-50 for the weekend. Has that changed? Let's listen.
Yeah, I'd say it's about the same right now. We'll see how this week goes. And it's not just about being healthy. It's also about, do you have enough work and reps to feel good about, going out there and playing well. So we'll see how the week goes.
Sticking on the tight ends conversation, what kind of stood out to me too was Benji Gallow, regardless of injury for Nick Gallo, is listed as the starter. He got that starting nod anyway and returns after kind of putting out some solid production behind Daquan Wright a season ago in 2023. What stood out about Benji Gallow early in fall camp? What did Brent Pry have to say about that?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, Benji is, if there were 3 or 4 guys I were to name about, just having an outstanding camp, he would be one of them. He's put a bunch of weight on, good weight. He's 255, 258. He's really making the contested catches consistently that is necessary at that position, and he's improved on, getting pad on pad in the run game. Very proud of the progress and development in Benji right now.
So with Virginia Tech hitting the road for the season opener, what challenges can that present? It's always interesting to hear certain perspectives from different head coaches, and Brent Pry offered his.
You're going on the road to play an SEC opponent at their place to kick the season off. There's a ton of hype. They're fired up about their team and, the promise of the year they can have, just like we are. So, it's challenging. Being on the road, 11 a.m. kick, it's going to be hot. Hopefully there'll be a bunch of Hokies in the stands. And, our guys are anxious to play, just like everybody. Camp gets long. You compete against each other, and our guys did a great job of that. But at some point, enough is enough, and you just won't play somebody else.
And then to put a bow on everything, obviously the hype is real. I mean, the preseason expectations are mile high. But as Brent Pry continues to say, it doesn't mean, has that changed? It doesn't appear so.
The preseason hype, the preseason predictions, they really don't mean anything. It's just noise. It can affect the way we practice, the way we work, the way we trust the process. We got to remain humble. We got to remain hungry. I pointed out, in no disrespect, but Pat McAfee talks about us winning the league, and in the same breath, he's talking about Florida State in the playoffs, and then there's an upset. It's just too early to talk about all those things, to worry about those things, and we got to control what we can control. And for the most part, our guys have done a good job of that.
So there you have it. Week 1 is officially upon us. Virginia Tech and Vanderbilt at First Bank Stadium in Nashville, coming up at noon on Saturday. Still plenty to break down. We got 4 days till kickoff, and Tech Sideline will have you covered. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.